Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad-Bhagavatam class, which is from Canto 2, which is entitled The Cosmic Manifestation, in Chapter 4, The Process of Creation. This morning we're doing text 15. Excuse me, I'm a little under the weather. We're fortunate to have this morning His Holiness Candramauli Swami to give the class. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Haribo,
Hare
Haribo.
Krishna. It's all yours, Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ya Kirtanam, Yat Smaranam, Ya Ikshanam, Ya Vandanam, Yat Charanam, Ya Arhanam. Lokasya Sadvo Virinautu Kamasam. Tasmai Subhadra Sravase Namo Namaha. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-auspicious Lord Krishna, about whose glorifications, remembrances, audience, prayers, hearing, and worship can at once cleanse the effects of all sins of the performer. Purport. The sublime form of religious performance to free oneself of all reactions of sins is suggested herein by the greatest authority, Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Kirtanam, or glorifying the Lord, can be performed in very many ways, such as remembering, visiting temples to see the deity, offering prayers in front of the Lord, and hearing recitations of glorification of the Lord mentioned in Srimad-Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. Kirtanam can be performed both by the singing of the glories of the Lord in accompaniment with melodious music, and by recitation of scriptures like Srimad-Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. Devotees need not be disappointed in the physical absence of the Lord, though they may think of not being associated with Him. Devotional process of chanting, hearing, remembering, either of all or some of them, or even all one of them, can give us the desired result, associating with the Lord by discharging the transcendental loving service of the Lord in the above manner. Even the very sound of the holy name of Lord Krishna or Rama can at once surcharge the atmosphere spiritually. We must know definitely that the Lord is present wherever such pure transcendental service is performed, and thus the performer of offenseless kirtanam has positive association with the Lord. Similarly, remembrance and prayers can also give us the desired result if they are properly done under expert guidance. One should not concoct forms of devotional service. One may worship the form of the Lord in a temple, or one may impersonally offer the Lord devotional prayers in a mosque or a church. One is sure to get free from the reactions of sin, provided one is very careful about not committing sins willingly and expecting of getting free from reactions by worshiping in the temple or by prayers in the church. This mentality of committing sins willfully on the strength of devotional service is called Namno Bala Yashahi Papa Buddhi, and is the greatest offense in the discharge of devotional service. Hearing, therefore, is essential in order to keep one strictly on guard against such pitfalls of sin. In order to give special stress to the hearing process, the Goswami invokes all auspicious fortune in this matter. Om Gyan Timidam Dasya Gyanarjana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Paschatya Desatarine. Vanchakalpa tarubhischa kripa sindhu bhaja nitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namaho namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. But the Lord is very merciful. He makes approach to him available in varieties of ways, not just one way, but many ways. And all of these ways are authorized ways to when we can receive the direct mercy of the Lord and also become free from sinful activities. And one must adopt one or more of these ways, particularly kirtanam, and also shravanam, hearing about the Lord. These two are the most important, and they're foundations for the development of the rest of the processes of our devotional angas. So one should adopt, but one has to be sincere. It's not that this is done whimsically or mechanically or routinely or without any understanding of the purpose behind it. One of the ways that we can fall short in our devotional service is simply perform the activities not knowing why we're performing them. That is called niyamagraha. Just doing it for the sake of doing it, not knowing what is the purpose behind. Or thinking that, well, they're not important and I'll do it my own way. Prabhupada also rejects that idea too, that you can establish your own way of worshiping the Lord. And that's quite common nowadays. People want to worship the Lord in their own way. And they say, well, this is my way of worship. But the Lord has different ways by which he has authorized how one can approach him. And he's given so many varieties. So it seems like there is enough variety for someone to choose how they would worship or glorify the Lord or even connect with the Lord. So here it says, remembrance, audience. Audience means shantaras, just coming before the deity and gazing at the beautiful form of the Lord with the desire to serve the Lord. That is called, there's no actual activity there. It's just taking, we call it darshan, but it's actually a form of devotional by which one focuses their concentration on the Lord, and they offer prayers asking the Lord for some service. So all of these methods will bring about development to one's perfectional stage of bhakti, which is to develop one's natural love for the Lord, because Krishna is all attractive. Anything that comes in contact with Krishna becomes purified. Anything that comes in contact with Krishna actually develops the quality of spirituality. And therefore, when that develops, then one becomes purified, because pure spirit purifies the material activities, material desires like that. So one has to be sincere and adopt this process, and then it becomes quite easy. Sometimes people say, well, Krishna consciousness is difficult. And others will say, no, it's actually quite easy. The scriptures sometimes say both. But the consideration is, what is your sincerity? If you're not sincere and you're simply going through the motions, then it's difficult. But if you're sincere and you're actually looking for the results of the activity, that is purification of the heart from all material desires and material tendencies, and awakening one's natural attraction in devotion for Krishna, that is sincerity. That is the desired goal, and each one of these processes are recommended. Of course, Lord Chaitanya has emphasized kirtanam, as, of course, Prabhupada gives a broad definition of what kirtan is. He gives it that you can even visit at holy places. That is called kirtan. But in the essence, the word kirtanan refers to chanting the glories of the Lord. And specifically, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is designated as kirtan. Of course, any form of glorification is actually kirtan. The Lord Chaitanya has given us the Yuga Dharma, the Harinam Sankirtan, means kirtan that's done together, kirtan that is complete and perfect. So we follow Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's recommendation. He's teaching the process through his own example and also through his words. And we follow that, we get the benefit. And kirtan is nice. Simply singing and dancing and expressing one's feelings by chanting the Lord's holy name. It's very nice. It's easy. It's pleasant. And it immediately brings one's consciousness to above the material energy into the spiritual realm. Mm-hmm. So the more we do kirtan, actually kirtan is the life of our whole development in spiritual life, in spiritual as a society. Srila Prabhupada began the Hare Krishna movement by bringing devotees to different cities in the United States at the time and performing kirtan. Kirtan started the movement off. Kirtan is what Lord Chaitanya did. Kirtan will continue and does proliferate the movement in different places. When people get involved in kirtan, they get an immediate experience, even if they're not aware of what is happening. There was one story where devotees were doing Harinam Sankirtan in a Rath Yatra in London. And one devotee was leading very nicely. And one lady, she came running up to the devotee who was leading, and she said, well, what are you chanting? What are you chanting? I can't stop crying. What is that? What is that? And she was overwhelmed with emotion as Krishna entered her heart in a very pure and powerful way and awakened within her devotion immediately. And she had never heard the holy name before. So this is the power of Krishna's holy name. It has an immediate effect and when the heart is open. And even if the heart is not open, if we keep chanting, we can open the heart. Open the heart means to allow that Krishna to come into our heart and cleanse our heart, Jaital Darpana Marjanam. And the cleansing process is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So out of all of the process of devotional service, this is universal. This has the most direct effect. People can perform any of the other ones, but people are very selective in how they approach the Lord. The kirtan is for everybody. And kirtan is the means for bringing back the Hare Krishna movement in a very powerful way. What was done in the early days, which spread Krishna consciousness so fast, is now somewhat sidelined and not giving as much attention as it used to be. For whatever reason, I think maybe because we find it more easier to do other activities and they're more profitable. It brings in more, what we say, money. And therefore, there is that tendency towards fruitive activities in using devotional service. But that is not Srila Prabhupada or Lord Chaitanya's directives. Directive means to spread this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra everywhere. He wanted devotees to go out every day in every temple, in every place around the world and simply chant and dance. In the old days, we used to do Harinam Kirtan in New York. There was 250 devotees would go out on a weekend. 250 devotees in one place. They would divide into two groups. This was in New York City. And one group would go one way up the street, and the other one would go the other way up the street, and then they would meet, and it would be tumultuous. The whole atmosphere of New York was permeated with the sounds of the mridangas, and there were so many mridangas and kartal players, and devotees were singing with great enthusiasm, and people were dancing. and they were also distributing books at the same time. It's powerful. And that's what we need to do in order to bring back this Krishna conscious movement. Deity worship in the temple is important, but it's not the Yuga Dharma, nor will it attract the general population. People don't understand what the deity is. They have to become a little bit purified before they can do that. And the Harinam Sankirtan is the means by which they can become purified and appreciate deity worship. But to emphasize deity worship over the holy name means to put Pancharatriki Vidhi ahead of Bhagavad Vidhi. And both of them are important, but Bhagavad Vidhi is the means for self-realization in this age. Pancharatriki Vidhi supports Bhagavad Vidhi, but Bhagavad Vidhi in and of itself is the glorification of the Lord by chanting, dancing, hearing, and reading Srimad-Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, as is mentioned here. So if we want to really spread this Krishna consciousness, if we also want to taste the holy name, the happiness of Krishna consciousness, it's all done by Harinam Sankirtan. When Lord Chaitanya was personally here, he demonstrated that when the ruling class wanted to stop the devotees from chanting, they were the political force within society led by the Qazi. They were Islamic. And they tried to stop in so many ways the devotees from chanting, and they threatened the devotees. Devotees were intimidated and became a little bit fearful. Lord Chaitanya came and said, what is this? Who is this Qazi? You know, they can bring all of their mullahs and they can sing and dance and they will not attract anything. And I will come with my devotees and we will change the whole world. And Lord Chaitanya demonstrated, he performed Harinam Sankirtan, and when he began, it was so powerful that people from all over the universe, the demigods personally came to take part in that kirtan. Lord Chaitanya was leading, Advaitacharya was leading the singing, Mukunda was leading the singing, Haridas Thakur was dancing, Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya were dancing side by side. It was so powerful. It says there were millions of people. It went right into the night, but everyone had torches, and the torches had lit up the whole sky that it seemed like the sun had come out. And the kirtan just grew more and more and more, and everybody was swept into the kirtan. Even the thieves who were thinking now people are leaving their homes, we can plunder their homes. As soon as they started to do that, when they heard the kirtan, they forgot about being thieves and they joined the kirtan also. It was so powerful. And then he marched onto the house of Chankasi, who was hiding. He became afraid. Lord Chaitanya stopped at his house, and the Kazi came out in a very fearful way. And then the Lord challenged him. And then the Kazi explained how he was visited just the other night by a very fierce-looking personality in his dream, half man, half lion. He jumped on his chest, and he was clawing at my chest, and he said, if you try to stop the chanting of my holy name, I will tear you and all the meat eaters apart. I will finish you off. So Lord Nrsingadev protects the Harinam Sankirtan movement. We don't have to worry about protection. Lord Nrsingadev is the force of protecting the Sankirtan movement and protecting the devotees. So if we go out there in every town, every village, every place in the world and simply do Harinam Sankirtan, as Prabhupada said, the whole world will change very quickly. And the world's in bad shape, more than ever before. There is, darkness looming in every corner of the globe now with so much horrible things and threats of war and food shortages and various types of military movements everywhere. It's really quite a difficult time. The only thing that's going to push back the force of this evil is the Harinam Sankirtan. There's no other remedy. And they can do it if the devotees get out there every day in force in whatever areas they are. There are some temples that are doing that. They go out every day, but not many. This is what started the movement. This is what brought the movement. And after Srila Prabhupada established his movement, then he began book distribution. And then he started to flood the world with transcendental knowledge. And people started to understand what is this chanting and what is the goal of this chanting through philosophical teachings. So our movement is not coming from any part of this world. It's Golokita Premadana Harinam Sankirtana. It's inaugurated by the Supreme Lord himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nohyonya. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. He's non-different than Krishna in Vrindavan. And he also has the mood of his internal devotee, internal pure devotee, Srimati Radharani. He's a combination of both Radha and Krishna in one form. Therefore, as Krishna, he's very powerful. As Radharani, he's very compassionate. And so his compassion is to spread Harinam Sankirtan everywhere. So if we want to really see the power of Lord Chaitanya's mercy, we need to get out there with Harinam Sankirtan in our temples, yes, in our societies, yes, in our houses, yes, and in the streets, as we did years ago. And you'll see, and there's no doubt, this has been emphasized by Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas over and over again. The whole world will change through the power of Harinam Sankirtan. It's not some eulogy or some idea or some possibility. It is inevitable. But it's up to the devotees. The Lord has given the whole process, and Lord Chaitanya has demonstrated, and he's also encouraging everyone to follow that. And so if we really want to change the horrible materialistic environment and make it a spiritual environment, or at least make it a livable environment. Now we can't even live in this world. It's so bad. There's so many problems and so many difficulties, and things are only getting worse. Kali Yuga is on the move. But Kali can't stand in front of Lord Chaitanya. He runs. As it says, Kali Yuga Pavana Kali Boyana Sana Sri Sachinandana Naham Brain Kali Yuga Pavana Kali Boyana Sana Sri Sachinandana Nam Rain. Kali Yuga Pavana. He's a merciful manifestation in this age. Kali Boyanasana. Nasana means to destroy. He destroys Kali. Kali becomes like a frightened dog running away, barking in fear when Lord Chaitanya is out there with his devotees singing and chanting in the streets. Now, this is our movement. Now, you can define our movement in different ways, but ultimately, this is the essence of our practice and the essence of our development. Harinam Sankirtan. Of course, japa is also there, and that's required. But Harinam Sankirtan is actually for the benefit of the whole world. And Lord Chaitanya, he's God himself. Therefore, his love for each and every living entity, whether they are devotees or not, is absolute. It's perfect. So he wants to give this mercy to everyone, even the non-devotees, the jugais and the mudais and the politicians and the crazy scientists. He wants to give it to all of them in the form of this Harinam Sankirtan. And the results we see so far since our movement began is quite formidable. There are many persons who have changed their whole life simply by coming in contact with this chanting. This chanting is the elixir, the medicine. Ainechya Sadi Maya Nasi Baralagi Harinamas Mahamantra, loud to me Magi. This is the medicine for this age. There's so many illnesses, so many diseases. But if you have one particular medicine that can cure all of the diseases, then that's the best of all medicines. And that is the Harinam Sankirtan. As soon as people take the Harinam Sankirtan or even be exposed to Harinam Sankirtan, their life becomes transformed and they start becoming nice people. And ultimately they become devotees. So this is our duty as disciples, as followers of Lord Chaitanya. The legacy of Srila Prabhupada left us is to take what he gave us and spread it everywhere. And Prabhupada emphasized in all of his speeches the importance of chanting, dancing, and spreading this movement everywhere to everyone. No one should be considered unqualified to receive this movement. We are not like some movements. We hide in our temples and we do our own worship, and we don't really care about anybody else unless they become like us. No, our movement is Paraduka Duki. That means showing compassion to those who are in a very fallen and miserable condition. And that's most of the world now. And it's only increasing with the effects of Kali Yuga. So, yeah. And as it says here, at once cleanses the heart of all sins. Anyone who gets the mercy of the holy name takes part in this chanting. So it's our duty, especially for those in a position of leadership, to take and lead the rest of the devotees and organize Harinam Sankirtan everywhere and anywhere. Put it back in its actual position. It is first. It can never be second, and it can't be in another place. Harinam Sankirtan is Krishna consciousness. Okay.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. This is great stress that you've put on the importance of Harinam Sankirtan, and this is how the movement spread, as you explained earlier. As you explained in New York City, how two parties going one direction and the other direction, 200 people just really spread the holy name. And the example you gave of somebody who just in Britain just came after the devotees and said, "What's this name? What's this name? Why am I crying?" Someone wanted to know. This is all very important. Hare Krishna.
It happened. Happened in London.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So I'm gonna stop sharing now. Devotees, I request that you turn your cameras on, and then this is the time to have questions and anything that you want explained. Either put it in the chat or better yet, just raise your hand or your electronic hand, and I'm looking. Then any questions, this is the time. We're very fortunate to be hearing from Candramauli Swami. I don't know whether you know the extent of fortune that we have. So please take advantage of it and ask all kinds of questions and share realizations also. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Parikshit.
Gorgeous Prabhupada. Ankita Mataji, please go on. Unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisance onto lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, glories to Guru Maharaj. Maharaj, I had a question like, what should our mood be when we do kirtan and dance?
Say again.
What should our mood be when we do kirtan and dance?
That we offer this kirtan and dance to Krishna for his pleasure. Kirtan means to spread. The word kirtan comes from the word kirti. Kirti means fame. So kirtan means to spread the fame of the all-famous Lord. So Krishna is already God, he's famous, but we want to take his fame and spread it everywhere. So that's the mood. And we want to offer the chanting. We offer our heart in the chanting and the dancing as an expression of our love for Krishna. And the word kirti also means, or kirtan also means that those who take part in kirtan also become glorious. The chanter becomes glorious. The singers, those who respond become glorious. Those who dance to the kirtan are also glorious, because kirtan, about in itself, is the purest of all activities in devotion in this age. Everyone benefits in all respect. But the mood is, this is for Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Not that we simply focus on our own and we try to get some enjoyment out of it. It's already enjoyable. We don't have to worry about trying to get enjoyment. If we just try to glorify the Lord through kirtan, then enjoyment will naturally come automatically. So where did you go? You're hiding now. I can't find you. Oh, there. I don't see you. Where'd she go? She disappeared. Rasa Vilas, where are you? Radha Vilasi. See me. She went out to dance already? Anand, what happened to your wife? Where'd she go?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Danda Pranam, please accept my humble obeisance. Maharaj, there is some network issue here, so she may have lost, but I'll ask her to come to different room.
Oh, okay. I thought she was so happy to hear it. She went out and did kirtan.
Yeah, she's getting back in. She's getting back in.
Okay.
Sorry, Maharaj. Actually, my phone was disconnected.
Okay. So yeah. And every time we do kirtan, you're always dancing, so you can always inspire all of the other ladies to dance. When Lord Chaitanya did kirtan, he had a lead singer and a lead dancer. And they were two different persons. Someone would lead the singing, and then someone would lead the other devotees in the dance. That's how kirtan is performed. I'm here in Ujjain, and we do kirtan every morning with the devotees during the Guru Puja. And there's one devotee, he is so enthusiastic. And he just takes everybody and brings them into a very organized form of dancing. And he's good at pulling more people in and dancing and inspiring the dance in different ways. And I thought, wow, this is Lord Chaitanya's movement. His name is Vibhu Chaitanya. And he's really big too, so you can't miss him. So yeah, then I was reminded, this is the way kirtan should be, because if the singer tries to lead the dancing at the same time, it becomes hard to focus on the singing. It's possible, but it becomes... So the idea is to have... And Lord Chaitanya organized his groups during the Rasa Yatra in Puri. He had a lead singer and a lead dancer for each of the groups. There were 7 groups, and they all circled around Lord Jagannath's cart. And each group had one lead singer and one lead dancer. And Lord Chaitanya joined the dancing in each of the groups simultaneously. He performed a mystic dance where he expanded himself into 7 forms of himself to be present in each of the groups. And each of the groups were thinking, wow, Lord Chaitanya is with us. But he was actually in every group at the same time. And so that's kirtan. So when we have a lead dancer, it becomes really, really, the kirtan really flows nicely. And everyone gets connected like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, I had like one question. Can I ask?
That's your job. You're the lead dancer for the ladies.
You had a follow-up question?
Yes.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah.
And go ahead. Yeah.
You're hiding again. I lost you.
Maharaj, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maharaj, actually, like what should be the etiquettes, like what performing the dance?
What should be the etiquette in performing what?
Dance.
It should get all the devotees to dance the same way together. Bring everyone into a type of dance. You can do the circle dance. You can go dancing back and forth. You can dance in different choreographic ways. There are different ways, but it should be all done in a very organized way when everyone is dancing together. And that makes the whole thing Sankirtan. It's a unified expression of bhakti coming from the assembled of devotees.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Manisha Mataji, then after that, Sri Devi Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, I have two questions. First question is how I get to know that I am serious, sincere or not?
How do you get to know whether you're sincere or not?
Yes, Maharaj.
Just be sincere. That's all. Sincerity means to fine-tune your activities and devote them. Direct your activities towards Krishna in a way that you want to please Krishna. That's all. That's sincerity. Serve in such a way that you put your intelligence, your attention, your time, your abilities in performing the service. Bring everything about yourself into the service. Not just one part of you, but all of you. Sincerity,
Okay, thank you.
Sincerity is a word that comes from a terminology, I can't remember the exact word, but it refers to sculpting. So there are people who are sculptors, and they take a piece of wood or they take some stone, and they very carefully carve out an image in that stone or wood. And the sincerity means to precisely do it in such a way that the image is, nice, beautiful, visible. So the etymological root word for sincerity is connected with the mood of sculpting. Interesting. Because when you're sculpting, you have to be very attentive to every detail.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Maharaj, thank you so much. I have one another question. Can I ask, or should I wait?
You can go.
Okay. Maharaj, whenever a panic situation arises, I try to solve it by relying on my own strength. And that moment, I forgot Krishna. So how can we remember Krishna during such times?
Just remember him, that's all.
But it's too difficult because...
It's not too difficult. You're making it difficult. It's easy. I tell you right now. So right now, okay, think of Krishna. So when I say that, what comes to your mind?
Krishna.
Yeah. See, that's easy.
But whenever panic situation arises, I try to solve it. But I'm just forget at that time Krishna. I'm not able to remember Krishna at that time.
Well, what can we do to help you? When Prabhupada was at one particular program, and devotees were doing some puja to Jagannath, and they were performing, getting ready for a fire yagya. So Prabhupada was organizing the devotees, and the devotees were doing everything wrong. And Prabhupada was chastising, not like this, bring this there, put this here. What are you doing? Get it over here. Prabhupada, this was on television too. So one hippie, he was there and he saw Prabhupada getting all excited. And he said to Prabhupada, chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada looked at him and then he started chanting Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada was so absorbed in getting the devotees to do the right thing. But when that hippie, he was a hippie, he was just a guy that just came. He heard that if you get excited, then you should chant Hare Krishna. So he told Prabhupada. And Prabhupada started chanting Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai. So I guess
later on, when people saw that it was a televised program, it was in the Netherlands, in Holland. People said, "Wow, your guru, he's really great." Prabhupada was just chastising everybody, and it was on television. But Prabhupada was absorbed in serving Krishna, so it's not like that he had a chant Hare Krishna, but because the hippie said it, he did it. So.
Hare Krishna. All right. Mataji, you done with your questions, right? I hope. Okay, yeah.
So when you get into panic, you just call up Shakshi. Shakshi's right there, and tell her I'm in panic, and Shakshi will say, "Chant Hare Krishna."
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Shakshi, can you do that?
Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
All right. He's your best friend.
Hare Krishna.
And I'll be coming to your place tomorrow. And the first thing I'll say when I see you is chant Hare Krishna.
Right. Sri Devi Mataji, please go on. And then after that, Anand Sagar.
This is such a sublime, spiritually surcharged class, Guru Maharaj. I'm in bliss just hearing you speak about the holy name and kirtan. This is so wonderful. Thank you so much. My question is this, Guru Maharaj. In the beginning itself, you said, don't put deity worship above the chanting of the holy name. And you said, Pancharatriki Vidhi is to follow Bhagavad Vidhi. Is that correct?
Yeah, it supports Bhagavad Vidhi. It helps one become purified. And the more you become purified, the more the quality of your chanting will also become more purified. And so deity worship helps to establish the mode of goodness, where you can actually worship the Lord in that purified state of consciousness.
Okay.
But as it says, deity worship is for neophytes.
I heard that before.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. We are so happy to be with you on this boat of transcendental knowledge, Guru Maharaj. You are the captain of the boat, and this is very favorable for us to progress in Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much.
Just don't jump ship. That's all.
No way.
Hare Krishna. Anand Sakapu.
Dandar Pranam Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Maharaj, I have a follow-up question on Rasa Vilasini Radha's question. So Maharaj, I like some of your dance steps. So is it okay to imitate them?
Yeah, but don't blame me if you get criticized for that.
That's interesting.
I don't even know what dance steps I do. I just, one very senior devotee who was watching me dancing, he'd say, we don't know which way Candramauli Swami is going to go next. The unpredictable dancer. Rita Sundari, no, I'm sorry, Rasa Vilasini, she's also like that. She dances everywhere and anywhere. She's yeah.
So, thank you for.
Thank you, Maharaj. I have one more question.
Okay.
Maharaj, we see toilets in the West, like the wash basin, the bath, and the toilet. It's all in like one place. But in India, it's like different. The wash basin is different. The bath place is different.
Welcome to the country of the Malachas.
I didn't get that, Maharaj. Sorry.
I said, welcome to the country of the Malachas.
Maharaj, so I had a question regarding Gopi Chandan. Like, we keep Gopi Chandan.
Keep it out of the bathroom.
Okay.
As long as the toilet's there, it shouldn't be done in that way. Gopi Chandan is the tears of the gopis.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Right, there is Sukavaha 50 Mataji in the chat. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. It says, I have the same issue. It's my tendency not to depend on anyone to solve my problems. So in case of a critical situation, it is difficult to remember Krishna. Okay, so that was a statement that he made. You've already done.
It may be difficult, but then you have to practice. I mean, okay, I can accept the fact that it can be difficult, and it is in some cases, because we get caught up in the situation, and then we try to sort out the situation. But when we practice Krishna conscious regularly, then we start remembering Krishna and doing everything for Krishna. Then when these things come out, it becomes more easier to remember Krishna. But I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it can become easier. Well, you have to practice remembering Krishna, that's all. If you don't practice when there's no panic or no difficulty, then when it comes, you won't be able to remember Krishna. Prabhupada says, you can teach the parrot to chant Krishna, Krishna, but when the cat comes, he says, cat, cat, cat.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, there's another question, this time a question in the chat from Scarlett Mataji. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to your holiness. May I humbly ask, do I understand right that we can't offer prayer to the Lord when we are in a church and mosque? That's his question. The question. We cannot offer prayer to the Lord when we're in a church.
No, it doesn't say that that's mentioned in the purport. It says when you're in the prayer mosque, you can offer a prayer. That's what they're for. The purpose of these religious buildings, temples, mosques, churches, is to offer prayer. That's the purpose. But if you're there and you're a devotee of Krishna, you should not think, well, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the understanding. He says, when I'm there in the worship of the Lord in other traditions, I think this is my same Lord, but he's being worshipped in a different way. That's all. So yeah, devotees, God is one, but he manifests himself in different ways, and there's different forms of worship according to the tradition that is being practiced. But offering prayers seems to be common amongst all of the different traditions.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
What it means
so,
to
I'm sorry.
what it means to impersonally offer means that one is not aware of the personality of Godhead, but just offering prayers without focusing on the Lord as a person. Like if you go into a mosque, there's no deities there. So it seems to be a little bit less personal. So one can offer prayers to the idea that the Lord will receive my prayer. But there's no conception of the personal form of the Lord, that's all. But devotees, when they go to the temple, they see the Lord in his personal form. So their prayers are personal. But when you offer prayers without the personal form of the Lord in mind, then that's impersonal prayer, but that's also prayer.
Thank you.
When you call the Lord, my dear Lord, or you
Okay.
God, that's more impersonal. When you say Krishna or Gopi Jana Vallabha or Govinda, that's personal.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right. So Manas Tyagi Prabhu, I saw a text on here, and the way he says, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to you. Unable to raise hand, but have a question. So my question to you is that can you unmute yourself and say,
Yes,
unable to raise hand is... Yes,
Looks
then
like
please go ahead.
he's driving.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to assembled devotees here. So, Guru Maharaj, my question is, and this is regarding Kirtan. I'm very particular about the melodies of the Kirtan. So while I'm singing the Kirtan and some followers up and takes the mic on and they are absolutely out of the tune, I get literally disturbed at that point of time. But of course, I do not want to, interrupt the other person because they are so absorbed in the bhav, in the kirtan. So I do not, feel right to basically interrupt, at that moment. But I personally get disturbed at that point of time. How to manage this, situation, Maharaj?
Those persons shouldn't be singing. When we do kirtan, usually it's organized, and the persons who are singing are chosen to sing, and they choose just the persons who know how to chant properly, because it's for the pleasure of the Lord and should be done nicely. That's the point. We may be disturbed.
Yeah.
We may be disturbed because it bothers us, but ultimately, Srila Prabhupada said when we're worshiping, everything should be done nicely because it's for the pleasure of the Lord. And so Prabhupada stopped many times the kirtan when it was not being done properly. He even stopped people playing mridanga when they were not playing properly.
Okay. So in a decent way, still we can say no to the person who's not singing it right.
Well, there should be someone in charge. That way people will accept.
Yeah.
If anybody does it, then people say, well, who are you to tell me,
Correct. No, of course, that is the reason. I mean, I have not done it ever myself, but at times I get disturbed. And the reason, the purpose of why someone is being given the mic is more to inspire the other people to also take up and start, doing the kirtan. or taking the Harinam. So that is the intent. At times the people get the mic in hand and they start singing. But yeah, I just wanted to confirm, Maharaj, if this is fine, if not me directly, but someone else can.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm leading kirtan, I'll just hand the mic to someone for like one or two mantras, and they ruin the whole kirtan. But it's just to get them inspired. But it's not that they're leading the kirtan.
Right.
But yeah, when it comes to playing instruments, when it comes to singing, persons who are adept at that service should be given that. And of course, the qualification for leading kirtan, as Bhakti Siddhanta said, is Trinadapi Sunichena Tayori Vasahishnuna, humility, and not such expertise in musical abilities. These are secondary. But when you combine both of them together, then it's beautiful.
Right.
But Prabhupada understood the Western audience, and therefore he wanted everything done nicely. Because he knew that the Westerners would not be attracted if everything was done just haphazardly.
Yeah.
Right, Guru Maharaj. Yeah,
Prabhupada,
I believe that.
taught us everything, singing, dancing, playing instruments, everything, how to do it.
Right, Guru Maharaj. So I also have this belief that kirtan is something that has a lot of power to pull people. So if it is being done right, it can do magic. Yeah.
If it's done with the mood of pleasure, giving pleasure to the Lord, that is kirtan.
Yeah, sure, Guru Maharaj. Sure, Guru Maharaj. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I think I've got the answer.
But Prabhupada also was quite strict about who should lead and how they should lead also. And there's certain tunes you have to sing certain times. There's the morning tune and there's the evening tune. And sometimes devotees sing the evening tune in the morning. Prabhupada would stop them and say, sing the morning melody. And when they were chanting Mangalarti, if they weren't singing Hare Krishna mostly through the whole Mangalarti, he would also tell them to chant Hare Krishna, because Mangalarti means Hare Krishna mantra.
Right. Sure, Guru Maharaj. Thanks a lot, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, Prabhupada was quite strict, very strict.
At times, what happens even if I feel like that, Niti Mataji, she would don't try to bring your expertise of music here. So I said, no, it's not about expertise, or I'm not trying to be like that. I'm simply trying to find things. I want to get things right, aligned. That's it.
Well, ultimately, they need someone who's in charge to make sure that things go on properly. And that person has to be accepted as in the leadership position. But we just get together and we just do things haphazardly. Nobody leads. Nobody knows what's going on next. It's like,
yeah.
Because devotees are not trained. When we came into the movement, we were highly trained. People are just coming in now with no training.
Yeah, that gives a different perspective altogether, Guru Maharaj. Yes. So some sort of training can also be thought of.
It must be there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Maharaj, for bringing this up and just segueing into this whole thing about the training that needs to be done. It's just anyway, that's the whole thing in itself. Rasa Vinasini Mataji put a question in the chat. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, I used to read Radha Kripa Kataksh during the month of Kartik, and I read it today as well. So is it good to read? I guess it's good to read that book.
Is it by Raghunath Das Goswami?
Pastor Rashini? Okay, go ahead.
No, Maharaj. Is it like by Chitralekha Devi? See, is some other sampradaya.
It's from what?
Yeah, Chitralekha.
Chitralekha is a gopi.
No, it's a disciple like in other sampradaya, Maharaj, like Gaudi sampradaya, but it's like
It's something concocted then?
no, Maharaj. It's like same Radha Kripa Kataksh Stota.
I've heard of it, but I don't know who's the author. If another sampradaya is singing it, still there must be the original author. Who's the author? Is it Rupa Goswami? Is it one of the acharyas?
Maharaj, actually, it's also there in ISKCON Desire Tree, Radha Kripa Kataksh.
No, you have to give me the author. Otherwise, I can't answer your question.
I will check, Maharaj, then I will tell it.
Okay, we got Anasuya.
Yeah, Ansuya, go ahead. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all grace of Prabhupada. Maharaj, I'm driving, so I'm going to try to make my question clear. Maharaj, thank you for this class. It's such an important class regarding Harinam and Kirtan and following Prabhupada's instructions. Maharaj, and you answered the question that Manas Prabhu asked, and I would like to piggyback on that. You know, we coming from the leadership meetings that we had in New Vrindavan, it has been weighing more and more on my mind, more so than, the past few years. And I think especially after Bhakti Swami left the planet, that how can we protect or maintain the teachings of Prabhupada Maharaj in terms of what to chant, what not to chant, what kirtan to chant, what not kirtan, what books to read, because I know Prabhupada one time said, read only the books I wrote, not any of the books from any other, organization or something like that. So, but as the years are progressing, Maharaj, and ISKCON is growing bigger, it's really a challenge to, keep that in order. What do we do, Maharaj?
That's why those who were with Prabhupada, who were trained by Prabhupada, should also help keep the standard at Prabhupada. Many devotees even today are present, that were there with Prabhupada. They learned from Prabhupada, and they understood what Prabhupada wanted and how he wanted it performed. So yeah, it's up to the leadership to because general people just don't know, and they'll just do whatever they think is right.
Mark, what I have come across is sometimes a situation where even when they are corrected what should be and should not be sung, they somehow have a way to introduce or justify the other sampradayas. Or I have heard one comment many years ago where one devotee said, Prabhupada did not teach it in the West because the Americans were not, I don't know how this person said it, but it's common in India. And, that seemed to be one of the controversial points, that sometimes I come across. And is
it a philosophy or is it protocol?
March, you mean in terms of what this person told me? I know it's about both. It's actually both a philosophy in terms of why they don't preach this, they don't preach that. It even includes kirtan. Why it's okay to sing this kirtan and not that kirtan, so I get both. And that has been
the most authorized form in terms of setting a standard for kirtan is Jayadvaita Maharaja's recent book called Kirtan Standards.
Yeah.
And that book is available. It just came out about a year ago. And he goes through everything, how we should chant it, what we should do, what we should not do in terms of the different types of melodies and the ways we chant. All of these are in line with the statements of Srila Prabhupada or the previous acharyas. Mostly Srila Prabhupada and what Prabhupada put into the scriptures like that.
Okay.
I mean, I did a book. With the help of Radha Vinodini, she actually did most of it. I did the history of Kirtan in the US. It's 110 pages. And we presented that at the European Leadership Meeting in the year 2017. And it went over really well with the leadership there. So I have that, and people liked it. And but Jayadvaita Maharaj is more complete. When I was in Germany in the New Simhachalam last year, Jayadvaita Maharaj was there, and he answered questions for at least like 3 hours. We were talking about these kirtan features, and you can see there is so much confusion, lack of understanding, what we might say omission of what we should be doing, how we should be doing it.
Thank you, Maharaj. Sometimes when I think, with the ISKCON growing, which is great, absolutely great, and at the same time, like what Manas Prabhu was saying, that sometimes devotees introduce new things and then trying to correct it is like sometimes pulling teeth. But
get one of your disciples there in Harrisburg to sponsor a couple boxes of these books and distribute them to all of your.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, that
Definitely.
book it's called Kirtan Standards.
Yeah.
Maharaj took years to put it together.
That book is so much needed, and I think Maharaj, like what you also mentioned, is that I think as ISKCON is growing, because I know when Pritchard and I joined, we were trained in the spiritual boot camp because it wasn't as big at that time in the early 90s. But now ISKCON is so big that training is like, oh my gosh, it's like hard work because it's so big, like it's like, yeah.
That's done in smaller groups.
Yes. Yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Okay.
When you're going to come back? I'm missing your association.
Maharaj, when Nitai Gaurachandra sends me some help, Maharaj, I am missing your darshan, your classes, your guidance, your lectures so much, Maharaj. It's like torture, I like torture in the sense that I feel this Vipralamba Seva, literally feel Vipralamba Seva.
Well, I wrote 2 articles that were directed towards your group.
Yes, I sent them out.
I have a 3rd one, which is.
Oh, please.
If you want,
Maharaj,
that's the bullet point one.
We need the bullets, Maharaj, right now. We need the
I gave
bullets.
a general nice presentation in the first one. I became a little bit more direct in the second one and made it seem like if you don't do it, you're condemned. But now I have a 3rd one, which is the Brahmastra weapon.
Oh, Maharaj, I think I would like that. I think we need the Brahmastra.
Okay, I'll give it to you first, and you can edit it.
Yes,
so
Maharaj.
make sure there's no extra shrapnel in there.
Yes, Maharaj. As soon as Nitai Gaurachandra sends me help, Maharaj, I would be back on. I pray to them every day to help me, help me, help me. So I'm waiting for them to send me help.
Well, we're going to get right to the core of it. And if they reject this one, then what can we do?
Yes, Maharaj, I'm praying for your Brahmastra third one to work, Maharaj, because
I'll
it's
get to
definitely
it.
needed. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
I've been thinking about it.
Maharaj, sorry to interrupt. So, Jai Advaita Maharaj's Kirtan Standard is what you mentioned, the book name, right?
Yeah, he compiled a book which is called Kirtan Standards. It's quite a big book.
Sure.
It covers practically all areas. There's a lot of different ways that he presents the knowledge in terms of examples, deviations, standards, history.
Got it. Sure, Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right, I know Amita is next, but before she unmutes, there's one answer to the question about the book. The book Sri Radha Kripa Kataksh. The answer is that it was spoken by Lord Shiva to Parvati. Silpesh Prabhu put it in the chat. And Mataji agreed to that also.
Yeah, I actually read that book. No, I read something similar by Lord Shiva. But that's fine. You can read that.
Okay.
But depends. You might have to search out what version most aligns itself with our particular practice. Because sometimes when people do the same book, they also make changes. But if it's just the text itself, then it's fine. Lord Shiva is Vaishnavat Yata Shambhu. He's the best of all Vaishnavas.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj. Actually, it's the same text, Maharaj.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Hari.
Okay. Amita, Mataji, your hand was up. You can unmute if you want to still, you put your hand down, but you can ask a question.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So I don't have a question though, but I just had this book Radha Kripa Katak Sutra, and I was just trying to tell that only, and that it's an appeal to Radharani, Srimati Radharani from Urdhva Manya Tantra, spoken by Lord Shiva to Parvati Mata. So this book also is published by Golden Age Media, and they expresses their gratitude to Bhaktivedanta Trust as well. So looks bona fide, Guru Maharaj.
Okay. It's connected with Ujjwala Nilamani.
Urdhva Manya Tantra.
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah. They're spoken by Lord Shiva to Parvati.
If it's just the text, that's fine. If it has purports and commentaries, then you might find yourself getting...
They don't have the commentary though, Guru Maharaj, but they have the text and the translation, and it's the glorification of Srimati Radharani.
There's no commentary, right?
No, there's no commentary.
Good.
Should I read the first paragraph and the translation if you want?
No, it's okay. It's fine. If it's just a text, that's fine.
It's the glorification, Guru Maharaj, of Srimati Radharani.
Fine.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Which now puts in my mind the question as a piggyback to what Mitanam just talked about.
You got Suvanga Sundari or somebody else?
Yeah, he had a hand up, but he put his hand down. So I don't know, maybe, and he's in the temple now, I know. So maybe he can, again.
Probably about the same topic.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's
Thank
chant.
you. Hare Krishna. All right, thank you. Dear devotees, this is the time which you heard Maharaj say we're going to do some chanting with the holy name. So, grab your bead bags and Maharaj will start. And
Today, also the first day of Kartik, everyone should be singing the Damodar Astika at the temple or at least at home with your friends and relatives. So if you don't miss it, if you miss one day, you could take birth as a, let's see what it's not a very nice birth. So this is the main way we worship the Lord on this particular month, and it's done by every devotee in ISKCON. So everyone should participate. It's not optional. Every day for 30 days, 31 days, sing the Damodar Astakam. You can do it if you can't find anybody alone. Get a picture of Yasoda tying up Damodar, put it on your altar. Make a ghee wick, light it, find a book with the prayers and sing it. But if you can go to the temple, that's the best. Every temple, I think in the evening, 7:30, there's always the Damodar Astakam. So beautiful. It's the best time of the year for coming together with devotees and singing. It's so sweet and so together.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So we've got our messages today. We have to do the Damodar Astakam. We also have to, as a group, wherever temple you are, go out and chant the holy name. Very important. Hare Krishna. So Maharaj can start and then we'll follow. Sridevi Mataji, do you want me to switch and make you the host? Because I could do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because you put pictures there and someone else.
Yes, yes.
All right, so I'll make you the host then.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't be on for very long today because I have to get over to the temple very soon. So someone can continue after. If you see my voice dropping off for a little while, then you know I'm gone.